It's time to take a look at stories making the headlines in Nigeria and in Nigerian newspapers. And with me in the studio, on Skype rather, is Chartered Accountant and Public Affairs Analyst Sheson Kwade. Sheson, good morning.
Good morning, Mike. Thank God it's Friday.
Yeah, thank God it's Friday. Nice to see you, really. Okay,
It's a pleasure
let's
having me around.
let's start with the stories before we come to you. Daily Times is the first paper we're looking at here, and Daily Times says drama as Wike rescues NDDC ex-MD from police. Okay, that's Daily Times. Leadership newspaper, on the other hand, says a race for National Assembly clerk intensifies as 5 jostle for Omolori's job. That's a leadership newspaper. That's what the leadership newspaper has this morning. Race for National Assembly clerk intensifies as 5 jostle for Omolori's job. And candidates must undergo thorough security screening. That's the CSO saying this. And the commission queries outgoing CNA, accuses him of insubordination. PMB wades into 774,000 job saga, reads riot act to ministers, MDAs on the executive legislature ties. A relationship beyond one president's appointee. Lawan is saying this. Okay, that's on the leadership newspaper. National Economy is next now. National Economy says Labour lauds federal government's move to generate 250,000 jobs and $500 million from gold mining annually. PMB reaffirms commitment to establish gold refineries in Nigeria. And Ayuba Waba seeks massive investments from private sector as formal gold mining will eliminate insecurity, illegality. KB governor is saying this. Okay. I guess my guests will be interested in this topic when we open discussion. All right, now the News Direct is where we go next. News Direct is on NDDC probe, and it says Buhari wants coordinated investigation. National Assembly orders Pondei's arrest as Wike rescues Nunye. Okay, that's the stories on the News Direct. Blueprint newspaper. Blueprint is next. It says federal government to VIPs on COVID-19 protocols. Respect yourself or risk 10-year jail. Accuses Fintiri, Yari of airport breach. Fan lied. Adama is saying this. I never assaulted officials. Ex-Zamfara governor. Okay. There's a back and forth there, but the message is clear to ensure that everyone respects the protocols at the airports, whether it's the chief executive or anyone else. Okay. Daily Trust is the last paper now. It says the Daily Trust newspaper says concerns over standoffs between National Assembly heads of agencies and MPs accused of extortion, and why will continue to clash as the lawmakers given reasons there. I wouldn't tolerate disrespect to legislature, Buhari vows. And there's system failure. Lawyers, the CSO are saying this. And certainly the front page of the Daily Trust has a breakdown of some of the walkouts from the National Assembly from 2016 to 2018, and then in 2020 alone, we've had about 4 walkouts of such kind of committees already. Okay, that's what we have on the Daily Trust newspaper. Let's get into the discussion now. Sheson, the story on the national economy will interest you because this touches on the issue and the call for diversification of the economy that Nigerians have been calling for so many years now. Now, the national economy says Labour lauds federal government's move to generate 250,000 jobs and $500 million from gold mining annually. And PMB reaffirms commitment to establish gold refineries in Nigeria. Now, I wonder how elated you are with this story, Sheson.
Thank you very much, Mike. That is a very good thing which we are clamoring for all this while, that enough of reliance on the oil. At the time, people were yearning that how we wish we can allow the oil to dry up so that we can look at other areas to concentrate on. Mike, let truth be told, this country is blessed with resources. The only problem we have is government putting the right infrastructure to exploit some of these things for us to develop as a nation. You discover that some of the gold mining areas we have before now are actually being done by individuals for their selfish interest. And this has actually degenerated the income of the nation as a whole. But now that government is taking up the responsibility to have it, and we have even said at a particular time that some of these individual miners that we have that does not have government approval to do some of these things, can we have an handshake with them in such a way that they have understanding of the business, invest in them, develop them the more, and give them the room for them to build that business and government ride on them? You see, the problem we've always been facing as a nation is that most of the successful countries, the government hardly put themselves into that business frame. All they do is to create an enabling environment for the private individuals to venture into it, and you will see growth go on. With this, the government is saying they want to create 25,000 jobs. Can we set up private public partnership in such a way that the private people who understand the business can drive this force, and government definitely will just create the enabling environment, and we see some of those things working. Before we know it, the government will take over this, and you see it being politicized. People want their own people to be part of it, and you will not get the actual people that should do that thing, and before you know it, everything will go to individual posts. We want a situation where this that they have actually discovered, and the CBN is venturing into it, to have a PP, the private public partnership, allow the business tycoon to drive this thing. All we need them to do, create an enabling environment for the business to succeed.
All right, now you talk about the issue of illegal mining and all of that. Certainly, it is reported that the president said that about $3 billion is being lost in the smuggling of gold, and much of that is mined illegally. Now, draw attention to the issue of the congestion of the exclusive legislative list. Now, as far as the Constitution is concerned, no state in the country can be involved in mining of any resources or natural resources within its jurisdiction. But do you think that has to change for things to turn around?
It must change. Why must this change? People in that particular locality, in fact, it is not the government that deposited it there. God gave them that thing to develop their area. Let's see what we are experiencing in the Niger Delta, where we get this oil from. You discover that we have oil spillage all around. People are suffering and they are not developed. It's high time we look at the Constitution. But you see, there's a challenge. The state governor that we are going to divert some of this power to, how reliable are they to make sure that their people benefit from it? They have failed even there, because we see them very close to the people, but they are not given the accumulate some of the things that they are supposed to benefit from. So you discover that people does not even have confidence in them at the state level, and it becomes a problem. But the right thing is that the people in that particular area should be the first beneficiary. Otherwise, what you see, if the federal government had to take full charge, you see somebody going all the way from Lagos, recruited to go and work in that part, and bringing such income to where it shouldn't be. But what we must first experience is that the people, the locality, the environment must first benefit from the mineral resources that they are endowed with. Give them good skills. Let them develop themselves. And from there, you discover that other states will look for ways in which they can. Let me tell you, all the 33 states in this country are endowed with one mineral resources or the other. But the problem is that we are all looking at the central. We want them to give us the resources for us to rely. But in a situation where you discover that states with the resources are the ones that are benefiting from it, I'm telling you, every governor will be creative in such a way to look at what exactly can I do. Take, for example, Lagos State. They discovered that there is no resources for them to get, but they drive their IGR with whatever they have. So
all right, Sheson, let me come back to you. We had to delve into understanding the nature of traffic right there on the road. Now, I wonder, how long do you think it's going to take for this move by the federal government to take root, and then for Nigerians to start benefiting from that aspect of the diversification that we are talking about? Sheson.
The government can listen by inviting the private sector to partner with the government. All we need the government to do is to make sure that they create an enabling environment. Let me just borrow this with you. Imagine the refinery being built by Dangote, which the federal government themselves are relying on. All what they've tried to do is to give certain incentive to Dangote for that refinery. So you discover that if we have if we have business, people that understand business, you see, the essence of business is business. And what does that connote? Is to tell you that we are in this thing to make people better, to make people grow. So we discover that government in every area has actually failed in managing business. So
Okay. Sheson, I'm afraid we have to leave you here now due to time. But I must thank you so much for your insight and your contribution on this topic.